Good evening and live from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. This is Dr. John Stamey, and I want to welcome everyone to Scary Cast. We've got a great show tonight. We seem to be having good shows left and right and all over. So we've got a great guest and, of course, incredible co-hosts. First, I would like to introduce the Dean of Scary Cast, the one and only Dr. Trey Dunaway from the Midlands of South Carolina. How you doing tonight, Dr. Trey?
I'm doing good, John. I think summer is starting in the Midlands.
It is certainly starting here in Myrtle Beach, so we're very glad it's getting warm and beautiful. So it's going to be great. And from Ewing, Virginia, the town with one blinking yellow light, but a lot of adventure, the one and only Matt Delph. How are you doing tonight, Matt?
I'm doing excellent. Excellent. Glad to be here.
We are glad you're here too. It's always a pleasure. So we've got a lot of great things. First of all, I want to re-announce that we've got the World UFO Conference coming up in Clayton, Georgia, worldufoconference.com. That is going to be June 29th. Vendors are already lining up. We're getting a bunch of them there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I was in Counterland this weekend up in Hamlet, North Carolina. A ton of people, and I spread the gospel about the World UFO Conference. A lot of people very, very interested. So we're going to have a crowd for sure, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And speaking of World UFO Conference, I thought we would start having some UFO guests, people who have experienced the very scary, not very, the very scary, not scary cast, but the very scary idea of a UFO appearance. And our guest tonight is from Blue Ridge, Georgia, kind of up there near Chattanooga. It's the one and only Les Durrant. How you doing tonight, Les?
I'm fabulous. In fact, I'm out here on the UFO deck. This is my new studio, and I've got all my equipment set up out here, and that's one of the reasons why I brought it out here was because it has been getting warmer. It's probably in the 80s this afternoon, and then it's very nice tonight. The bugs are starting to come out, so that's fine with me too. I don't care. And then, but the way I've got everything set up out here is I've got a big screen I'm going to put out for Flight 24, so I can Flight Radar 24, so I can watch the flights go by as I'm out here on the deck. And literally, I can call them. And by the time I leave my deck out here or leave this area right here, they're usually out there waiting for me. And this has happened quite often, so I'm really excited about that. And my wife, it happens to my wife too all the time, and we just enjoy having people up here to the house to let them experience it. And in fact, it sounds like she's coming home now.
But in about 3 or 4 weeks, I'm going to come up there to experience your flight.
Yes,
I
that would
will
be
be there.
that would be great. I would be very happy to have you come up, and you're very more than welcome to come up as well. Right now, I've got my security cameras keeping an eye on the moon. The moon is right above me right now, but a little bit below that, I've got the security camera, and so I'm just letting that I'm gonna let that run for 6 hours, and then I've got my Samsung S22 that I use for catching my night stuff with. And lately, I've been catching all kinds of colorful craft. I had a blue object follow me from the casino at Harrah's coming back from Murphy to Blue Ridge. And we also had UFOs following us to the casino as well. But on the way back, it's just a beautiful blue color changing object. And you can see it on my channel. I've got a YouTube channel. It's called Objects and Orbs. And I've got about 100 UFO videos on there. I've got 3 MUFON unknowns, and MUFON is the Mutual UFO Network. I've got 3 unknowns with them. My very first one was in Searcy, Arkansas, and that was 3 years ago in June. And see, the bugs are out here with me, so that's good. But I've had 2 in Mineral Bluff. One was at my mom's house as well, and then I'm also in a movie. It's called Encounters: The Complete Interviews. and it's shot by a North Carolinian, Bill Howard, and he's in Wilson, North Carolina, and he has a series called Encounters. And I had a triangle fly over me about a year and a half ago almost, and it was about, I'm 1,900 feet up, so it was probably about 3,000 feet, so not that much higher than where I was, but you can definitely see the outline of it, and it has 3 white lights, and it's as it's flying along, you'd think that it stays a triangle, but here's where it's different, because a lot of people think it's a TR3B, and you got to remember where I'm at. Why would one be up here specifically? Because I'm
Now,
like
now
you
hold on.
said,
What's a TR3B?
so a TR3B is a US triangle that they say that they have. I don't specifically know if it's TR3A, 3B, 3C, what ones they have now, but they are reverse engineered. Um, the one that I've got, if you look at the screenshots, which I'll send you, you can see that it changes from being a triangle to actually being more lights around it if you look closely. And then also it looks kind of like the lights are following you. They kind of go around like this. And that's something that I see something new every time I watch it. But in that documentary, it shows you exactly how I do my work, how I record the objects, how I go through and look at the video all day. And, I just kind of, if I see something happen out of my eye, then I can catch stuff that way. Sometimes I'll hear flights like right now. I check every single one just to make sure, because there's a lot of times where you'll hear craft that sound like planes, and upon close inspection, you'll see that they don't act like them. And that's kind of what I've been known for. And then otherwise, what I like to do is I like to teach people how to record UFOs using cell phones and the equipment that they have around their house. I have about 9 cell phones that I don't use, that they don't have service. That doesn't mean I don't use them actually, but they just don't have cell phone service. But as long as they can access the Wi-Fi, then that's when they can be used. Hey, baby.
Hey.
We're talking with Dr. Stamey right now, if you want to join us.
Oh, okay.
All right. So basically what I do is I use this really expensive camera mount, also known as a door hinge, and a little bit of Velcro. So, this would be something that anybody can do.
Hey, Liz, this sounds like something I would put together.
Yeah.
Don't you dare say it. This sounds exactly like what I would put together.
All right.
And by
Well,
the way,
that's what you got to do, right? And then
that's
so what
right.
you
And
do.
I have a quick announcement. Claudette, your wife, your wonderful wife, she's very nice. I got to meet her at the Georgia Bigfoot Conference, and of course you were there too. So she's going to be joining you on camera here in just a second, and that's great.
Yes.
So
Yes.
she has now officially been introduced.
Yes.
And this is wonderful. Now I've got a question. I've got an early question, and we're going to have to do a round of questions now, because you've already brought up enough stuff. Now, when you were driving from Blue Ridge to Murphy, you were going to essentially the Cherokee Casino.
Yes, right.
That we would say in Cherokee, North Carolina. So it's somewhere over there. And now, what kind of a road, if they were following you there and back, what kind of a road was it? 2-lane road, 4-lane road? What kind of road did you have?
It was a 4-lane road. It was the what we call the Murphy Highway, Highway 64. So basically, when you go out from Blue Ridge, you get on 64 near the top. 64 goes across the state line down into Tennessee, and then we go up like this to meet it. So we went over this way, and the reason why I said that they followed us there and back was because we've recently been communicating with them. And if once again, if you look at my YouTube channel, you'll see that they seem to like to follow us. But in my mind, telepathically, and even my wife too, they were saying, go for it, go have a good time. It was my birthday. It was April 6th. We were going to have a good time. And they were just going to, we had already seen 5 of them in our yard. My next door neighbor, Vic, he's new. And I said, hey, Vic, by the way, welcome to the mountains. UFOs are real. And let's talk about Above Majestic next. So, yeah, so we kind of did that. But I told him, I said, Vic, if you call, watch this. I said, Vic, I'm going to call them and let's see how often they come, how soon they come. And he said, literally within 2 minutes. And, you know, I can bring, and in fact, I'm working on bringing him to the World Conference, so he could kind of tell about that experience as well. But,
well, then now let me tell you what we're going to do at the World UFO Conference.
Mhm.
We did it last year at the Flying Saucer Comic-Con up in Burnsville. And
Mhm.
what we did is we used 2 radionics machines like I have right here, and we set up to see a UFO at 4:30 p.m. at the end of the Flying Saucer Comic-Con. And we
Wow.
had about 15 people there watching with us, and guess what they saw? They saw a
UFO.
UFO. So
Mhm.
we need to talk to you about this because we can, and I've got another machine that I just got in from
Yes.
Dan Shaw, my friend who's he's the vortex hunter,
Mhm.
and I'm not going to say, but we're going to have Dan on here very soon to talk about this machine that he sent me, and he sent me a book to go along with it. I mean, it's just grand. I mean, we're getting all kinds of stuff and all kinds of technologies, and you've got technologies. So
Mhm.
this is great. I'm sorry, we're going to have you on in about 3 weeks
That's
again
fine.
to talk more about this as we
Yeah,
gear
no
up
problem.
for the World UFO Conference. All right, now I've asked a question. Dr. Trey, you got a question?
Oh, I've only got like 1,000 questions now, but let's start off at the beginning.
Huh?
Les, how did
Yes.
you get involved with ufology?
Oh, yeah.
And
Actually,
how did your wife get involved with it? Was
mhm.
she before she knew you? Was she interested in this?
She said that she had seen some stuff, and you know what? Hey, Barrett. No, she said that she's seen some stuff before, but she hadn't really said anything. How this all started was during COVID. We were in Arkansas, and we were watching a lot of ghost shows and stuff like that, and even some UFO shows too. But we wanted to try doing some ghost hunting, so we came down here to Georgia, went to a haunted house, and got some great, you know, evidence. And I had actually prayed to see if the Lord would show me things that I hadn't seen before other than the orbs. And so after that, I took one of my cameras, and I was actually, or one of my phones, actually, I was planning on just maybe trying to record some clouds, and did the same thing. But this time I put it like this, and I put it in selfie mode and just stick it up to the sky. And in Searcy, Arkansas, we were about 30 miles from Little Rock Air Force Base, and there was these C-130s that would fly around, and they would do these routines that would go around the city, probably.
Racetracks.
Yeah, racetracks, yes. And there's about 5 of them. My dad actually used to fly in C-130, so I knew exactly what they were. Upon reviewing my video, I saw some clouds, I saw some birds, bugs, but I also saw the planes, and I was my eyes were open pretty bright. Uh, in Arkansas, we had medical, so I was able to actually be able to expand my viewing a little bit and be able to keep my focus on the TV. So in the living room, I actually had 2 computers that were hooked up to the TV, so I had big screen. But I saw this object that was following along with the C-130s, and at one point, it even went in front of the C-130s. And I use a program called SM Player, which is free video software that you can get for your computer. And I downloaded the video into the computer via my phone and just hooked up the little, you know, USB cord and run it in that way, and just, you know, did a little bit at a time. But the good thing is that if you see something, you can always go back and rewind it and then go forward again. And with SM player, you can do 1 frame at a time. So at the time I was doing 30 frames a second, and now I do 60 frames a second. So the better that I can do, the better that they come out. So
Right. And now,
thing,
Les, I'm going to have to interrupt you because I don't want
yeah,
to forget this. Here's what we need to do at the World UFO Conference. You and your
hmm
wife are hosting the UFO roundtable on
hmm
Friday afternoon. But on
right.
Saturday, I'm going to want you to give a talk about technology to view and follow UFOs. Would you do that for us, please?
That would be great. And I don't know if this is the same thing you were talking about, but I got a friend of mine, Armando Landinarian. He's up in Connecticut, and he helps run the Madar project. Have you heard of that?
No. What is the Madar project?
Okay, Madar project has been out quite a while, and what it does is they have a sensing zone. And if you type in Madar, you'll see it, MADAR. They have these different sensing units about the size of a little box, and what it does is it measures the compass and measures the magnetism. And what happens is that the objects magnetize things. One is they can magnetize silverware, they magnetize cars, but what they do is they affect compasses. And so one thing that I like to do is just to get a compass on my phone. Any of them work well, and so if it goes out of if it goes 5 degrees one way or 5 degrees another way without any reason, then that's how they can track them. And
Okay.
it's really now the other thing that I like to do out here is, and I can show you this real quick. Um, I have an analog. I have an analog compass that, let me turn it around this way. Okay, that has gotten magnetized. Like right now it's not magnetized, but okay, see it's right there. But if I was to go set it down on this metal table out here, let's see. I got this table out here that will move it like that because it's been out here in this area. So I would have you contact Armando Landinarian in Connecticut, and he's on Facebook and the Madar project. You can actually look, like right now you could log in and see anywhere what the latest hotspots are based on that. Yeah. Also, I use a K2 meter. I use tri-field meters. Mostly the tri-field meter is the one I would use specifically for UFOs. It's also good for anybody who might have an implant.
Oh, so we can remember, Dr. Trey. I let you feel my arm, and I have some kind of a bump on it. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Well,
You
we're
got
going
an
to find
implant?
out. And Doctor, several people have felt it. So we will. And it just popped up one day. It was just there.
Okay. All
So
right.
we will scope
Well,
it
that
out. Well,
works.
this is great, and I've also got some electronics from Dan Shaw, and we might talk about them when I come out there. This is going to be a heck of a show and tell weekend. I might bring my buddy Mike over if he has off.
That's what. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Sorry to interrupt. That's what it's all about. Is to have that. Even, and what I also like to do is to have freeware too. And there's this magnetometer. You can take this magnetometer, look it up on Google Play or the App Store. It's free. It's called magnetometer.
Okay.
Yep. And run that along your arm and see what happens.
Okay, we will do that in front of
Yeah.
everybody, in front of you and your wife. If I can get Mike there, or if I can get, I've got a secret weapon over there in Clayton. He's going to be starting to manufacture some Bigfoot stuff, and it's going to be
All
great. I'll see
right.
if I can I'll see if I can corral him to come over there too. All right, Dr. Trey, you back with your questions, and then we'll get to Matt. So, Dr. Trey.
Well, I'm still waiting to find out how. I understand how you got involved with COVID and looking. And is that when your wife became involved with it also?
Yes, yeah. She didn't actually happen to see any UFOs literally until we came here up to Mineral Bluff from Blue Ridge. We live, I would say, the neighborhood. It's about 5 miles away, 8 miles away to Blue Ridge. But we're 1,900 feet up, and we're surrounded by trees. So we're just up here all by ourselves. And
Now, when you say you communicate with them,
yes,
how do you communicate?
we do it vocally, and we also do it telepathically. So what we'll do is we'll ask in our minds. We just say, hey, can you show yourself? We'd like to be able to see your colors. And thank you for using our equipment.
Okay.
And we're peaceful, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they come.
And you said they follow you? The objects follow you to the casino?
Recently they did, yeah. So
do they ever give you any suggestions on numbers, or if it's going to be red or black on the roulette wheel, or have you?
You might, yeah. Have you ever
I mean, I'm asking that facetiously, but not really. So, have you had any experience with that?
Yes. Have you ever heard of the number?
That's pretty cool.
Have you ever heard of the number 7?
Yes.
Have you ever heard it's lucky?
Yes.
Do you know what the number 7 means?
No.
It is a holy number. Think of all the 7s. It's actually a holy number. And it's another holy number is 1111. Do you ever see that on your microwave or your clock?
All the time.
Twice a day.
Twice a day, right? But do you pay attention to it?
No, I usually our microwave is just blinking 12. So
okay.
But now I have heard of 3333 being an angel number. I didn't know about that until I read about 3333. 3333, yeah, being an angel number.
Yes, and 1111 is actually as well. Yes.
Okay.
And a lot of times what that is, and the reason why I bring up numerology and a lot of that is because I've had abductees, not just one, but I've had 3 or 4 people tell me about numerology. So when I was sitting at that machine, I was going, come on, 7, come on, give me that 7. And then 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Heck yeah. As opposed to just any of the other numbers that could come up.
Right.
And
right.
Now my wife there's been times where she'll ask him, hey, can you turn back around? And then they do. But this last time was kind of weird because if you look at the first video, well, actually, before we went to the casino, my wife had a little, no, it wasn't before we went to the casino. It was the night before. It was the couple nights before. That's right. Okay. On Hard Scrabble Road, you'll see that we were going to Walmart. So she had felt this stinging in her foot, and we didn't think anything of it. And it was kind of bleeding. And then it went away. And then I took a picture of it just to see what it was. And there's a little white dot in there. And we're thinking, okay, whatever, not a big deal. So we started thinking, well, what was that? Because after we poo-pooed that, we were followed by a UFO. Like I watched one going right by us. I mean, and it was cloudy skies. And then when we were at Walmart, I said, hey, can you flash at me? And it flashed. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Appreciate it, And then on the way back, that's when we saw the one with metal. And it turns like this, and you can actually see 3 dots underneath. That 3 little hills like this.
So
And
do you speculate that whatever was going on with her foot was
possibly,
planted?
here's why is because I took out my tri-field meter
Mm-hmm.
and did a little RF on it. Yeah. And it was going off just like Dave's did, my friend Dave. Yeah, he had his foot, he had his an implant taken out of his foot recent well, it wasn't recently, but we were wondering, we said, Dave, do you think it's all gone? Because his foot was going like this on the RF meter, it was going like that. So how could it be that his foot's broadcasting and mine's not? It's like, what the hell? And Claudette's too. That's the weird part. Do we know that as a fact? Don't know yet until we start looking at other feet. But
Right.
you know, and people who know quite a bit more. Now, I've even called Tri-Field in Salt Lake City, Utah, and they've even said that they use Tri-Fields for paranormal. And of course, if you watch Skinwalker Ranch, the episode of where they find the cow that's been mutilated, they get that Tri-Field meter down there, and it starts going nuts. And
On the mutilated cattle, if
Mhm.
it's signaling an RF frequency,
Mhm.
where is the origin of that? Since with a cow they could dissect it and look for, the
Yeah,
source.
do not know unless it's still trying to communicate to it.
Right.
Because what they're doing, for some reason, the cows, they can pick, and this is back in that 1.4 gigahertz thing with Skinwalker Ranch, is that with all that creepiness going on, there's something that they want from those cows, and who knows? It could very well that they are looking for some type of embryonic kind of thing, or some kind of,
Or filet mignon.
who knows?
If
Yeah.
I was a UFO, if I was an alien and had a cow, I'd be looking for ice cream. I probably would have heard about ice cream. Ben and Jerry's would be good.
That's right.
I'd be looking at ice cream, but once you take a cow apart, it's much
Mhm.
harder to get milk and cream from a
That's right. Yeah,
cow.
Got to get some good beef. But,
Mhm.
so that of course is still in the air. I've had it happen with other things too. Like I've had some Bigfoot type experience. I think Dr. Stamey, maybe you can answer this. How about have you heard anything about the arches being portals?
I'm going to be able to answer in about a month a lot of questions about portals. So let's put that
Okay.
one on the back burner, and I will come see you, and I will let you know
Okay.
what I am getting into, which is very interesting and very unusual. Let's let Matt ask a couple of questions, and
Yeah,
we
go
might
ahead,
go back
Matt.
to Dr. Trey because I'll tell you what, the questions bring out really great things. So Matt, you, and then Trey, and then Matt again. This is fun tonight, I'll tell you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've hit a lot of things here. Of course, you talking about the Skinwalker Ranch. I'm part of the group. They're mostly military. The Meadow Project, which is Skinwalker Ranch in the southeast. I'm part of that team, and everything you're talking about is, all your equipment and stuff. Talking about the arches, stuff like that. We got it's where a portal opened up. We got it on video, and it took 2 of our team members. But in that area, there was a tree that was shaped like an ankh. And if you're familiar with that, that's the portal. It's like the cross with the keyhole up at the top.
Right.
The Egyptian ankh.
Yes.
Right,
And it was out in the middle of this area, which is pretty wild. He's talking about the portal thing. And we had a lot of activity going on. And we don't know how it got pictures of it. It's on this little island. You'd have to wade through this creek to get up there to it. And it's up so high. I don't see how, unless somebody climbed a tree and done it.
Right.
So that goes along with everything you talk about, the angel number stuff. Now, and
so I'm paying attention. I just I'm texting Claudette.
I've got a whole list of screenshots throughout the day of angel numbers that's being caught every day.
There you go.
But now you hit the casino thing. I never thought about that. If you look on my Facebook profile, it says professional gambler is what my profession says. So I never thought about that. I usually go with intuition on my stuff, but I didn't think about asking, hey, stuff like that. But now
you don't ask, you don't get.
Now I got a quick comment before I forget. Since you're a gambler, I want to tell you about this. Have you ever heard of the Binford curve?
No, I have not. I don't think.
Dr. Trey, you got your phone? You got a way to look that up real quick? Or Dr. Stamey, the Binford curve?
I've heard of it, and let me see.
What?
I got another one. I got too many.
The Binford curve says that you can pick 100 numbers out of a phone book, the last 4 numbers, and they're the last 2, and you'll notice that there are more 1s than 9s, and it always goes like this. It goes in a perfect loop, just like that. And so if that ever tells you anything, and if maybe you've ever hit on something, would you say that those were the middle numbers?
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Okay,
yeah
8, 7. Okay, so that's the Binford curve. So once you've seen all those 1s, 2s, and 3s, 4s go up, you know that there's going to be something in there for you if you've got it, because you know they ain't going to have it. Or at least with, or you do it more than I do. But yeah. So, but also, do you all know about 369 with Tesla?
Yes.
Okay,
that's
good.
Universal number that tells you everything.
Yep. I've actually benefited by 369. My wife has too. I'll tell you a quick story if you have a quick moment. So last year I broke my hip in February, and the beginning, and they had to fly me off this mountain from here to Chattanooga. So it was about 80 miles. And of course I was looking up at the sky, you know me. Okay. So the thing is that I was saying, Heavenly Father, take this pain away from my knee, or from my hip. Heavenly Father, please take this pain away from my hip. Heavenly Father, take this pain away from my hip. 3 times, 6 times a day for 9 days. And then my wife said, Heavenly Father, help us pay this bill. Heavenly Father, help us pay this bill. So if you can imagine, I was in Chattanooga and at Erlanger, and I was there for 4 days. How much do you think it was?
Oh,
369,000.
1.2 million.
No, but it was about 7. No. It was about 100,000. And so we're going, what the heck? What the heck? Now, when we got the bill, guess how much it was? $1,000. Why? Because Erlanger paid for a majority of it after my insurance paid for it. And that's because of 369. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. But anybody can do that. And basically what you're doing is you're bringing that into being. Another thing that I preach to is quantum physics, quantum mechanics. Quantum entanglement. That explains a lot of stuff too, and it explains a lot of Tesla stuff as well. But yeah.
So now, real quick question. Okay, now whenever you are talking to these, I've done the Greer meditation. There's meditations that open up your macabre, around your aura, and a lot of people say that right there is what UFO, these alien type beings, can give off, or how sometimes the military, if you activate that in you, they think a UFO is around, or a military. I've heard people saying helicopters flew around their house. They were doing these meditations, activate that. Now, do you practice any of that? And does that help you get more in contact with mind speak on any of that, or you
No,
just ask and manifest it straight out? And
yeah, I basically walk out and like I'm just walking out, here at the you heard where Claudette was, so I just stand in here and can you show yourself so I can see you? I can be able to see you tonight. And then all I gotta do is just do. And just literally within minutes. And I've got, I don't brag or anything like that, but I've got a video that's not cut in any way, and it's called Requests and Dedications, and you can see it's literally within 18 seconds that one just comes by, and it's not just one. I've got another one that comes by, and then another one, and then I get to where there's so many of them that we start dedicating them to people. And
now, how close
but
have you been?
The closest I've probably been was that triangle, and that when you see it, it's coming right at me. And let's just say if I'm just standing here, this plane is usually going from Atlanta to New York. This one over here would be going from Atlanta to like Detroit, and then going across is Chattanooga to Charlotte. So I know my triangle of planes, so it usually goes around, and so anything that goes this way is kind of suspect. So I saw this kind of red looking light, and then all of a sudden it just had kind of a weird sound to it, and that's when that went over, and that I think was the closest one. Now I didn't really get anything mental out of that at the time, because at the time I didn't know how to call them. I've only learned how to call them literally since July of last year. And so with that, my wife started calling them as well. And I've even had people tell me that it's her is the reason why they're coming by. So I don't know. After you talk to a lot of abductees, it's kind of like they all have the same thing in common. They all seem to have kindness. Not that I don't, but they just seem to have kindness, good-heartedness, all of that. And I've even said that she gets the nicer objects than I do sometimes. I get
about your blood type. Are you your blood type? Like, I'm A negative, and they always say that's the alien, the hybrid blood type. It can't be traced back to anything. Are your guys' blood type? Are you positive or negative?
That's a good idea. I like new things. Don't know. I'm gonna have to find my. Oh, yeah. If I had a way to run up, I could tell you. My dog tags are actually up there from when I was in the Navy. Otherwise, I don't know.
Ooh, yeah, I'd check and see, because they can trace back the positive, the racist factor with the over in Africa, but the Rh negative, they can't trace it back to nothing but the Basque from over in, where was it, England, I believe were the majority. But like, I'm A negative. I think only 6% of the world has A negative, and that is more of your hybrid type blood type. Women have to have a Rogan shot, or it will kill the baby.
And you said it's A positive or A? I'm sorry.
I'm A negative. I'm A negative. So if you look and see if you're an Rh negative, a lot of those people are more your psychic, have more psychic abilities, are really highly intuitive. They got high IQ. They've got all kinds of stuff. They got certain traits. If you can look up the Rh negative trait and see if you or your wife or either one.
I'm into that, because that stuff, that I can actually prove. We can prove that kind of stuff, and that's the kind of stuff I like as well. Okay, got it. Thank you. That was great.
Dr. Trey, since you're our resident medical expert, what do you have any comments about Rh negative?
No, I mean, obviously, with transfusions, you want to go Rh negative for the first. That's a universal donor part, but for the but I don't know of any endowment of RH negative or RH positive that it would give over to somebody. I do have a question though, Les.
Yes.
If you wanted to go out in your backyard tonight and do some UFO hunting,
Yes.
what kind of simple tools could people get to help them with that?
Right. So what I've got right now is I've got. Can I run and go get it real quick?
Yeah. Sure.
It's just right here. Okay, I'll be right back. Hold on a second.
All right, well, we're having fun here on Scary Cast. Dr. Trey Dunaway, Matt Delph, and me, that's Dr. John, and we're having a lot of fun tonight, gentlemen. It's great to be here on Scary Cast on a Monday night. Brings back old memories, doesn't it? Crazy memories.
Yes, it does.
Crazy memories, but that's okay. We're having a lot of fun. Les is great. Les and his wife led the Bigfoot Roundtable at the Georgia Bigfoot Conference. They're going to lead the UFO Roundtable.
Now, see, you got to remember my backyard is actually below me. The ground is actually the second floor, and where I sleep is on the third floor.
Right.
So you were asking me what is a go-to thing right now? Well, since I'm not out there looking, I've got a used, basically the landlord's security cam. It's set up for night vision, but I've got an app on my phone that is where I can look at it. It's called Zoomy Mall. And
now, what was the name of that one again?
Oh, Zoomy Mall, ZUMIMALL. Let's see. Oh, right here.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
it's a Wi-Fi camera, Wi-Fi security camera. This one is an older one, but it works quite well. I actually have, once again, I have a cut video of from Samsung S22 to where I catch a craft on this and that at the same time. Now the way that you have to do it is you actually have to come in here and you have to manually hit record and just let it record. Because it's not, if it's motion activated and all that, no, don't do that. You got to have it hit. But when you go back to play SM player, all you got to do is just hit the forward button, and you can scroll through hours and hours at a time, just like that. And then if you see some streak, you're like, oh, hey, what was that? And rewind it back. And that's kind of how I do it.
And you said you also have a tracker on your phone to look for aircraft. And what was the name of that one?
Yes, it is Flight Radar 24. And they even have an AR, what they call an AR. In fact, let me see if I can do the AR right now. Oh, yeah. Look. Atlanta to Detroit. See that little thing right there? Atlanta to Detroit. So I already know that if it's not on there and I have Atlanta to Detroit, naughty. Okay, so, but this is, I think this is it. Well, I've got gold, but it's all of what, $4 a month, I think. So right now, let's look. The next one that could be near us is Atlanta to Montreal. Very good. So I use that. And then what I'm going to do, because I'm really geeky, as you can tell already. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up a little on the go cord, and I'm going to plug in my HDMI to my screen that I'm going to have out here. I've got a big screen. I'm going to project it.
Right.
Yeah, and then also I've got, here's the other go-to that everybody needs is SkyMap. It's free. SkyMap. Let me bring that back. Let me show you where.
And is SkyMap for planets, stars?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and I have a picture of the eclipse as it was going over the sun. So and I only like to use apps that are free, or as close to free. So right now, right over here was the moon. Oh yeah, the moon is up there now. Hold on. Like right about there. There's the moon.
Now,
So
do you not have a ceiling in the space you are in? I see lights above. Is that?
I do. Yes. Yeah. But out here, hey. So basically, where I was is just out here on the porch. So where the lights end,
Right.
that's where my porch starts to become darkness. That's
I
dark.
got you.
That's my porch.
I got you. So the lights were looking back at your house.
Yeah, yes, that's right. And I can also turn them off too. I just gotta come over here and do a little hoop to do. Hey now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, I'm prepared for any eventuality. Oh, it's not too. Oh shoot, that's no, it's not. It's all right. Hey, I'll just stay in the dark. Hi guys. I'll be a floating head. All right. Yeah. So, if I see anything that way,
When you're out UFO fishing,
mm-hmm.
how often do you get a bite? Do you get a bite every night? Do you get it every other night? Every
Just
week?
about. Yeah,
O-
just about. Mm-hmm.
On a given night, once, twice, three times? Is it the same?
Probably.
It's the same object, or are they different objects?
No,
Or
they're all different. Yeah.
Mhm.
Generally, they I get about 3 of them. I would say on average. I've got the ones that we do catch. I have videos of it. See, it's very quiet. It's very quiet. And I'm surrounded by forest. So when the forest is quiet and there's no dogs barking, you probably know this, Matt.
Yep.
See, when the plane lasts longer than it should, that's when I start to wonder. So let me
Mhm.
just double check. Let me double check.
Did the woods go completely silent?
Oh, that's probably Atlanta, Montreal. It's just right there, and it would be that it is lasting longer because it's going further. Okay, so that makes sense. But
I was wondering if the woods had went completely silent.
oh, it goes silent a lot up here, yeah. And that's and Dr. Stamey, you'll be able to hear that too. Of course, you've been on enough Bigfoot hunts where it's quiet as heck.
Yeah, that's usually when you get your activity. Something's
Yeah,
in
when it's quiet, something's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dr. Trey. Go ahead.
No,
Yeah,
that
so
that was no that, that was that's those are just some of my other questions I had for you.
yeah,
It's interesting.
the ones that we see recently are what they call Merkaba vehicles. So what you're seeing is actually a mothership that's showing out a hologram, and those can be seen. Uh, those can be what they consider Ezekiel's vision, which is in Ezekiel 1, verse 27. And what we do with those is I do those one frame by frame, and literally each one is an object. Dr. Stamey, did I send you a link to my drive?
I don't think you did. No,
Oh well,
send that.
shoot. Yeah, I'll send you a link to everything. You can send it to Dr. Trey if you want to, and Matt.
Sure,
Yeah,
I'll definitely.
I give out all my stuff. I don't care. It's not mine anyway. You know, it's nature. No, but so with those Merkaba vehicles, my friend told me how I could use a filter to actually be able to see the full ship. And after I did that, it was just mind blowing because the Merkaba with the pictures themselves were just incredible. So I take with 60 frames a second, and if I double it, you can see even more, and it's just incredible. And then those are sometimes the red and white ones, and then I see ones that are pearl shaped, and they look like they're alive. They go like this, like that, and I see
wow.
those very often. Yeah,
Kind of
and
like a
those I would
jellyfish.
say are, I'm sorry.
Kind of like a
Yeah,
jellyfish.
yeah. I see those. I mean, just so often. It's just amazing. Yeah. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything I could show you here just real quick. I need to put all my stuff together. Best object. Oh, screenshots. Okay. Yeah. Here's one. So so that doesn't blink. It just keeps going across the sky. I've got the Merkaba vehicles. Here we go. So that's screenshot number 1. And then here's screenshot number 2. It looks like a heart. And then there's screenshot number 3 that looks like a something.
And these are all the same objects changing shape?
Yes.
Or at least turning, showing you a different aspect of it.
No, they're all staying in the same spot. See how that one? Yeah, because okay, here's another one. So what it does, these are all within seconds of, oh yeah, this right here is pretty profound.
Now, these are all the frames within that second, correct?
Correct. All of these are just within 1 second. Yes. So that'd be 1 second, boom, 2 seconds. You've already seen 1, 2, 3, like this.
Gotcha. Yeah, you've got all of them in each frame individually.
With the 60 frames a second.
Correct.
I got you. I got you now. Okay.
So like that one, see like how that's already a square.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I see those quite a bit. Yeah, and then now I've got the video, so you could even stop the video just like the one from Murphy, the blue object from Murphy. If you have YouTube and you just stop it and just pause it or whatever, you'll be able to see like 1 frame at a time, and you can use the arrows on your keyboard. Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's a little. This object right here is from Searcy, Arkansas. This looks kind of phallic to me. I don't know. Hold on. Oh, that's kind of bright actually. Shoot. There we go. Let's see if I can do this right.
Really can't see it.
It's a neon.
You kind of see it at the angle there.
Yeah, it's kind of so that also is available on my group, or on my link that I'm going to send you. It's on my Google Drive, so it has all my objects, and I'm just trying to find some more screenshots.
All your objects and orbs, right?
Yes.
What is the difference in? Do you find that you are seeing more objects in North Carolina than you did in Arkansas, or have you just gotten better at spotting the objects?
Yeah, I would say probably I've gotten better at spotting them, but I also have objects in Lubbock, Texas, as well. I was there for a funeral, so I took my cameras. And there, it's the elevation alone is 2,000 feet, and so with the sun just right there, that's why it's so hot all the time. It's like 90 degrees all the time. Let's see.
Well, you know that you're at the scene of one of the greatest UFO sightings in history, the Lubbock Lights.
Yes, the Lubbock Lights. In fact, I also have documents from Area 51. Yeah, I mean, we could. In fact, I did a podcast at Mystic Mountain Pizza the other night, and they brought me on stage. I thought that was amazing. And you know what I had everybody do?
What?
Okay, I said, hey, go to Google. They're like, all right. So everybody got their phones, right? Go to Google. Here's what I want you to look up: MAJIC, magic, space, Reagan. You know, like Ronald Reagan, REAGAN, Scroll down about 3 lines. You're going to see worm file. Click on the worm file. Where's it from? It's from the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. Okay, all right. And then once you get there, then what you're going to do is you're going to go down to page 19. And when you get to page 19, select Magic Reagan. Oh, yeah, come on now. That's a little too bright. Yeah, it's just a little too bright for me. So Magic Reagan, you're going to click on the worm file. Then you're going to click download. That way you have it, just in case. What this is the starting of MJ12. So MJ12, the thing about this document is that during COVID, we saw it, but it was redacted. But on here, seems they forgot to redact it on Ronald Reagan's form. Now, why? Then I asked him too, why would this form be in the presidential library? Well, that's interesting. That's one thing we're going to find out about. So
Les, would you like me to ask Ronald Reagan's biographer who spent hundreds of hours there?
Of course. That would
because
be good.
I've got him on speed dial.
Okay.
I'll call him tomorrow and I'll see what he says.
So the first thing you're going to see this Harry Truman sign this, 1947. Then you can scroll down here just a little bit, and then you're going to go across, and it'll talk about who all was in MJ12 right here. And of course, a little bit it was redacted, but you're going to see Forrestal. Forrestal killed himself because of, now I'll just read this really quick. So on page 19, on 7 July 1947, a secret operation was begun to assure recovery of the wreckage of this object for scientific study. During the course of the operation, aerial reconnaissance discovered that 4 small human-like beings had apparently ejected from the craft at some point before it exploded. These had fallen to the earth about 2 miles east of the wreckage site. All 4 were dead and badly decomposed due to action by predators and exposure to the elements during the approximately 1-week time period which had elapsed before their discovery. A special scientific team took charge of the removing of these objects for study, of these bodies for study. The wreckage of the craft was also removed to several different locations. Civilian and military witnesses in their area were debriefed, and news reporters were given the effective cover story that the object had been a misguided weather research balloon. And so when I read that,
they learned all about misguided weather balloons over in Roswell, didn't they?
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
That was the beginning of all the weather balloon sightings.
Right. So so at Mystic Mountain Pizza, there was jaws just dropping. And I'm like, yes, exactly, ma'am. In fact, I had a lady from the audience read that paragraph. I said, ma'am, that's on your phone, right? I said, good, because you can read the rest of it if you like. That's public knowledge. You just got to know how to find it. And it's one of those things. If you type in magic, MAJIC, plus FOI plus mil, or you could just type in MAJ plus mil / index of. Yeah, shoot. You can find stuff that way. Now, here's another thing. How many people think that the president knows it all?
Well, we know that's not true.
We know that's not true. Okay, what about
this president
2 or 3 people above him? How about 5 people above him? Now you see where I'm getting this, okay? Do you think that's high enough?
Maybe.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. That's good. So let me look on here because I want to count. Okay, hold on. Here's another thing that I found. Okay. Yeah.
What I want to know, Les, is why did the movie They Live open at #1 at the box office for 2 weeks and then disappear from theaters? Why did that happen?
What one? What was it called?
They Live, starring Roddy Piper.
Oh, They Live. I do not know. Okay.
Nobody can tell me the answer to that question. Maybe I'll ask Reagan's
Yeah.
biographer.
Yeah.
He knows a lot of creepy stuff. He and I just got hooked up together after like, I don't know,
Yeah.
25 years. We hadn't talked to each other, and it was like, oh my gosh, it was like old home week. So I'll have to ask him. It's about time for me to call him tomorrow.
Okay. So there are many actually that are above the president. So have you ever heard of MJ-12, right? You've heard of MJ-12.
Yeah.
They are actually the leaders of the
free
country.
world.
Yes. And do you know who's below them? Okay. Cosmic clearance. Okay. Dr. Stamey, do you have your computer up real quick? Come on now. You guys
I've
are falling
got a cell phone.
Okay, a cell phone's fine. Look up cosmic security clearance. Security clearance.
Maybe not.
No, now. Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna look it up. I'll look it up for
look
you.
it up. I don't think I will. I'm
What
pretty
is
hot on
cosmic
some
security
things,
clearance?
you know.
According to NATO.int, Cosmic Top Secret, the highest level of security in the alliance, covering only the most important information generated by NATO. Unauthorized access would result in exceptionally grave damage to NATO.
That means that NATO would no longer be, but guess who knows more than that? MJ-12. Who's below that? Luna security clearance. Yes. So, now do you know who's above MJ-12?
I think we'll stop it there.
No, come on
No,
now.
we will
You're
stop
leaving
it
on
right
a fun
there.
note? Okay. All
We'll
right.
stop
Well,
it
I will
right
I will
there.
leave you with a movie then called Above Majestic. If you look up Above Majestic, that will give you the answer.
Okay.
Ooh. I'm not that crazy, but anyway. I'm a
That's the
crazy
reason
guy.
that we're still. Hey, Les, that's the reason we're still on the air. Sometimes I have to say stop.
That's right. That's right. Yep, because my dad always said, I've always been crazy, but it's kept me from going insane.
That's
Little
great.
feeling there.
Well, I tell you what, I hate
Hey,
to
I'm
tell
from
everybody
Texas.
this,
Come on.
we
I'm from
have
Texas.
reached our witching hour, and
But
we got a great show tonight.
this hour has just flown by. Thank you, Les.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, I could stay on for another hour. Oh my gosh.
Well, Les, you better be careful for saying that, because I was going to ask you, would you come back next Monday night?
Yeah, I'll come back every Monday night. I don't care. Hey, who knows what I've caught by then?
Just come back next Monday night, and we'll have another show from Blue Ridge, Georgia. Dr.
That's
Trey,
right.
you going to be here?
And maybe, depending on the day, you might catch me in Vernon, Utah. Ooh.
Oh, that's right.
Or Tooele, Utah. That would be cool too.
We can talk about that. What, next week, next Monday?
That would be kind of cool, right? Because hey, just because it's my dad's deal, don't mean it's no. My dad would be like, UFO while you're out here, man. So and my mom would too. My mom would too. She's into UFOs now too. So yes. So all right.
So we'll have you back next Monday night. Matt Delph, will you be back?
I should be here. I plan on it.
Yeah, unless somebody comes and grabs you. Dr. Trey, you'll be here with us.
Trey too, right?
I'll be here next Monday night.
You can't beat this with a stick, as we say up in Burke County, North Carolina.
Right.
So look, thanks everybody. It's been a marvelous Scary Cast. I want to say thanks. We've got a bunch of new listeners that I've been talking to. Some people can't actually get on. They can't get on YouTube, so I've got 2 people I'm sending raw MP3 files so they can listen to our show. Some of them are over in Africa. Some of them are over in Asia. Some of them are in, where are they? They're in Virginia. So all I got to say is we're getting fans left and right. It's a lot of fun. Always come back to Scary Cast. We'll be on tomorrow night. We've got a wrestler tomorrow night. I'm going to be visiting Susan Green. Going to do an interview with her tomorrow, the greatest lady wrestler in the world. It's going to be a lot of fun. Then we got Brandon Brandon, I can't remember his name. Brandon Ashcroft tomorrow night. It'll be great. It'll be up Wednesday. And so we got a lot of fun here on the Scary Cast, the best paranormal and interesting people show on the internet. Goodbye, Les.
Bye. See ya.
Good night.
Good
night, guys.
night.
Good night, John.
Goodbye, Dr. Trey.
Good night, John.
Good night, everybody. God, we sound like a Walton. Take care. I love all of you and all of our fans. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.